Hi everyone, here's a roundup of the top news in Southeast Asia. Asia leaders congratulate Biden for U.S. election win. Myanmar votes in second democratic election. Covid-19 puts Indonesia into recession. My name is Angeline and this is the Daily Watch. Leaders from Asia and around the world react as media outlets declare Joe Biden the winner of the 2020 United States presidential election race over Donald Trump. In Southeast Asia, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, who had previously said he believes Trump deserved to win re-election, said in a statement that he is looking forward to closely working with President-elect Joseph Biden. Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, in a letter to Biden, said he very much looks forward to working with Biden to deepen the partnership between the two countries and enhance the United States' presence in the Asia-Pacific. Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said Malaysia looks forward to strengthening further the partnership with the United States under President-elect Joe Biden's leadership as the international community seeks to address the many global challenges, including the disastrous impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Elsewhere in Asia, South Korea President Moon Jae-in congratulated Biden and Harris. Our alliance is strong and the bond between our two countries is rock solid, Moon said on Twitter. I very much look forward to working with you for our shared values. India Premier Narendra Modi said he looked forward to working with Biden again and vowed to strengthen India-US relations under the new administration. Japan's Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga pledged to work with Biden to ensure peace, freedom, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. Tensions have heightened in the Asia-Pacific as China has taken an increasingly aggressive stance in the region. Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping didn't immediately comment on the news of Biden's victory. In other election news, voters in Myanmar cast their ballots yesterday in the country's second general election since the military ceded absolute power in 2011. While the result appears predictable, analysts believe Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy will win again. The elections could further exacerbate the country's ethnic tensions due to the disenfranchisement of many minorities. The military establishment continues to wield significant political power, and COVID-19 may dampen voter turnout. Aung San Suu Kyi, Nobel laureate and former political prisoner who spent nearly 2 decades in jail or under house arrest by the military, is beloved by many for her years of resistance against the military and for being the daughter of Aung San, the assassinated independence hero. Together with her National League for Democracy party, she won a landslide in 2015 and established the first civilian government after 50 years of isolation and military authoritarianism. Internationally, however, Suu Kyi is no longer the democracy icon once adored in the West, primarily because of her handling of the military crackdown against the ethnic Rohingya Muslim population, which the United Nations said had the hallmarks of genocide. Myanmar's upcoming election has been widely criticized for failing to meet a host of international democratic standards. Opposition parties have been censored by state media. Websites critical of the government have been blocked, and people boycotting the election were threatened with arrest. The Rohingya are also not allowed to vote on grounds of citizenship, which activists claim are discriminatory, arbitrary, and retroactive. In other news, Indonesia's economy has fallen into recession for the first time since the Asian financial crisis more than 2 decades ago, as the country struggles to control the coronavirus pandemic. Authorities in Indonesia expect about 3.5 million people to lose their jobs this year, with the government and the central bank both taking action to try to soften the blow. President Joko Widodo's administration has sought to prop up the economy by easing taxes and spending more on social support and public health. Indonesia, which has the highest COVID-19 cases and death toll in Southeast Asia, has reported more than 14,000 deaths from the coronavirus as of today and has been adding 3,000 to 4,000 cases daily since mid-September. United Nations agencies and other groups have warned that job losses and other shocks from the pandemic threaten to undo decades of progress in alleviating poverty in countries like Indonesia. That's it for today. If you liked today's video or learned anything new, press the like button. Subscribe and ring the bell to get the latest news from the Daily Watch. See you next time.